folks, and welcome back to another episode of Let's Play Majesty, the Fantasy Kingdom sim. So, today we are going to get into more of the meat of the game. So, these beginner quests, of which I am doing the last one today, in the first half, they really just introduce you to the game. This is how it's going to mess with you, these are the basic skills, etc. Then the game starts actually playing with you. And with me, as the game starts trying to mess with us, are...
Hey everybody, it's the Last Robokai here, and I am completely immune to the game messing with me.
And I'm Orv, and the game messes with me constantly, and it gives me nightmares.
In fact, I have actually paid the game off, so it will not harass me, and will actually bother Orv the whole time.
You're a monster.
I am.
Yeah, I can actually see this happening with the editing I have to do at times.
It's just me slipping like a bag of gold across the counter to the advisor, and him going, "Ah, excellent! Your Majesty, we have more money for the kingdom!"
I hate you so much.
And then he just turns around and yells, "Your Majesty, the royal treasury is nearly empty!" Orv.
He's skimming it.
You're damn right he is.
That's what we call kickbacks.
Do not despair, Your Majesty. Though this swampy region has yet to be transformed into a comfortable abode, I'm sure we can fulfill your mother's dream. I suggest we start small and figure out a way to productively use more of this swampy ground. Perhaps building a festive fairground in the middle of this desolate quagmire will be sufficient proof of your achievement and ability.
This is the worst idea we've had yet.
We'll make it work somehow.
A little bit of a plot thing there about the Mother Majesty thing. Is that part of the reason why our king is the only one who isn't a complete dullard? Because I don't have the manual.
Yeah, your mother was the competent one before you, so apparently it's just, matrilineal. But she dies in like the weird lore that's in the manual. And you're made king when you're like 13 or something.
Historically canon.
Yep.
Majesty.
So this is the last beginner quest, and it basically uses this to let you build more or less freely. There aren't too many nasty tricks here, but they don't want you to worry about the non-human races, which add actually a lot of strategic depth to the game. And so that's more or less what they do. They just say, okay, why don't you just go ahead and mess around and introduce you to how the Rangers work again or whatever. But it's all very straightforward.
This is you playing, right?
Yeah, this is me.
I want to point out you're not using hotkeys.
Marketplace now serves you better.
I actually am using hotkeys. How the hell do you think I researched all of the crap at like the blacksmith without actually going over there?
Yeah, I guess that's technically correct. But I was.
That's the best kind of correct.
Just because you're dragging things off the list. Though I don't know if there's actually a way to do that.
You can't get palace buildings by hotkey, unfortunately.
That's really weird.
You can use the B key, to actually build something, but that's the best you can do. The hotkeys are still useful, but they're not exactly as realized as something that actually requires.
Thank you for admitting that. Yes, vindication.
Dude. It'll still make me a lot better at this game when we get to the master level quests. I'm just saying.
Probably, yeah.
What was I thinking? Oh right, so I had mentioned in the last video that there's an element to not distracting your heroes when they go off and do something. You saw me get annoyed at how my Rangers weren't doing things because they had other things to do. They were buying health potions, they were visiting the blacksmith, etc. There's also an element to that with not distracting your peasants in the early game. Like, you might have noticed that I explicitly held off on placing down any more inns because I wanted to make sure that the Rangers Guild and the marketplace got built as soon as possible.
You don't want to, scrimp on getting your heroes. You definitely want to get those sooner rather than later. The economy can wait.
Depends on the mission. In many missions, you're absolutely correct. Because I mean the game is rather keenly aware that its two resources are gold and time, so it'll throw big ass problems at you like way early before you have any chance to prepare.
Our first visit from Rust Spitters.
Oh god, those things are really obnoxious.
They're really shit and the worst. They're not as bad as the flowers later on, but
I don't even remember encountering them outside this mission. The Rust Spitters.
They show up in a couple missions where it's just like, here's all this shit from the rest of the game, have fun. But otherwise, yeah.
Just empties a bucket on top of you.
Pretty much.
So I'm getting ahead of myself here. The other trick that this game is going to acquaint you to is that once you get the level 3 palace, which allows you to build the fairgrounds, it's just like, okay, you can build the fairgrounds, but you can't actually build the fairgrounds until you get a ground hardening potion from the local dark castle. So the game is more or less preparing us for the fact that it's going to screw us in unexpected ways as we go forward.
Welcome to Volcano.
Right. It's just like, oh, okay, well, this is a thing, but I didn't actually tell you it's a thing.
My ambition.
So that being the case, I was just like, okay, I'm gonna get ahead of this because I'm playing for speed, and that guy's dead, and I don't really care.
Fucking Rust Spitters.
Friggin' Rust Spitters.
I join the wild.
But yeah, so this dark castle has to go. And the way I handle it is I try to support my heroes by building a guardhouse out there to absorb some of the Rust Spitter problems that it will inevitably be spawning.
Nope, another one bites the dust.
Tax collector.
Your Highness, we've improved the guardhouse.
Yeah, rogues are disposable. They are extremely cheap to recruit, and they're just disposable. I don't really care that much about them.
I forgot that Rust Spitters basically implode when you kill them. I forgot about that animation.
They're notable in a number of ways, that's for certain.
Treasury is nearly empty.
Oh, and for what it's worth, the reason I'm not building any more guilds is because the limit that you have to upgrade to level 3 is 12 heroes, which is 3 guilds, and rogues are cheap. So it's just like I'll do 8 and 4, and we'll be done.
Just bears harassing your trading caravan.
Yeah, bears and then trolls out in the middle of nowhere.
He was obviously very confused, thought there was going to be a marketplace nearby the guard tower.
I was very confused looking at that, because usually it just spawns it either red on your trading post or red on your marketplace, and it's just like, ha ha ha, suck it down.
Alrighty, tax collector.
But now he's just like, hey, guardhouse, and the guardhouse is like, all right, I can deal with this.
Yeah, that's like, unfortunately for the troll, there's an entire family of peasants living inside of it.
And he's not smart enough to attack the peasants.
This game is really great. For a lot of reasons.
I've always kind of equated AI war a little bit to Majesty, just because half of the fun of the game is just watching the AI do crazy crap.
Yeah. That got a new expansion recently.
City Guard do the thing. Also, AI War gets an expansion like every 6 months. That's not really notable.
Well, bears ate your trading caravan. You shouldn't have been trading honey.
I was not happy about that because
You're rich, but in bears.
ambition has paid off.
So yeah, now that the rust spitters are cleared out, and you know there's some stuff over there, they're going to handle that dark castle in decent time. So now all I need to do is get the money I need to upgrade the palace, and then build a fairground, and then we're done.
Never get much use out of the fairground, personally.
I mean, when you want to talk about keeping your heroes on task, building a fairgrounds is basically the worst thing you can do in the game.
Yes.
The only reason I've ever found a fairground useful is if I'm screwing with wizards, and you just set it to magical. And then maybe wizards will be useful one day, but probably not.
Maybe.
I know.
So, to explain this a little bit, the point behind the fairgrounds is that you can set it to melee, archery, magic, or combo contests, and then people or heroes that are low level or whatever that think they can compete, they'll go there and basically train up. They'll get free experience and a little bit of gold, a lot of gold if they win, but and levels and all of this good stuff, right? So that's a thing that they can do. The problem is that they're also really attractive to high level people, and they will do nothing but mess with the fairgrounds. You won't get anything done.
Blah.
And yeah, we got a vampire. Vampires are jerks.
Huge jerks. So yeah, he is totally going to demolish that guardhouse all by himself. Blah.
I had actually forgotten they do that.
Yeah, they totally go blah. Because Bram Stoker is alive in Ardania.
Cold, Your Majesty.
Can't really blame him. You trashed his castle just to get a potion. No one actually knocked on the door and asked. Just a whole bunch of dudes like crossbowing his house to death.
He's just like, those damn kids!
And their fairgrounds.
With their music!
Wander around on the edge of the map.
Yeah, we were talking about in like the first episode how rangers will occasionally just walk off the edge of the map and then maybe they'll be back and maybe they won't. Yeah, well, when the map is mostly revealed like this, you can reasonably expect your rangers to be absent half the time.
Your Majesty, a new build. We are victorious, Your
That's this
Majesty.
fucking troll camping the front gates of your castle.
It's done, Majesty. We're on the road to building a bright future for the kingdom. Your mother, the late queen, would be very proud of your accomplishment.
Except for like the vampires, bears, and trolls all still running around your kingdom.
Whatever. I'm just gonna go with Orb's explanation of, canon-wise, I'm done with this joint.
Nope.
No, misbehaving cursors already.
Just I'm
Dreadful
rubbing it.
news. Scouts from the frontier report that goblins have been seen heading this way in massive numbers. We must stem this dark tide before they overrun and utterly destroy the kingdom. I suggest you put out a call for heroes, as many as we can muster, to protect our village and keep this vile swarm at bay. I implore you to act quickly. The most recent sightings were not far from the village, and we are ill-prepared for such an invasion.
I really like the goblin aesthetic in this game. They look really good.
They're mean and nasty, and
They do. A lot of the art style in this game is just incredibly good.
yeah. So we can't build Rangers Guild, but there is one. Well, wait. It said we couldn't. Oh, I moved it. That's right.
Yeah, you.
I'm like, we can't do that. Wait, how the? No, we just moved it. There you go. That's exactly how you use it. And we're already a level 2 castle as well, and there's goblins running around, and we've got a warrior of Discord or two for starters. They're a special kind of a warrior unit. that we won't be building any more of, so once these guys are dead, good riddance. They're like berserkers, basically. They can hype themselves up and do more damage, and also don't have dick for armor, so there you go.
And that's really their big problem.
No, I won't be building them. I'm already building the structure that will let me build the other Warriors Guild unit that you can build. That is the ridiculously expensive Wall of Hell that is the Paladin, the broken unit of this game.
Yeah, so there are generally 3 religious paths that you can take in any one game. One is the Crypta and Fervus pantheon that you saw Orv take in the first level. That gets you warriors of Discord, priestesses, and cultists. They are only moderately expensive. They're medium expensive, and but medium powered. They specialize in spamming a bunch of weak units around to handle a lot of things at once. The other main one is Doros and Agrella, and Doros gives you these paladins, which are absurdly powerful. If they get to level 5, practically nothing can kill them. That also gets you monks, which are kind of throwaway. They're not great, but they're also not terrible, I guess. And then
A high-level monk will fuck some shit up.
don't get me wrong. I love me some monks, but they're also nothing to write home about. And then it also gets you healers, who are awesome in every way.
Yeah, healers can be absolutely fantastic at tying up some enemies as well. But you can see the paladins. Look at them go. I can only build 2 because my Warriors of Discord are still alive, but they got the job done.
In the name of the sovereign.
Praise Doros!
Your Majesty!
The Wizard's Guild. I don't think I make much use of the Wizard's Guild, to be perfectly honest.
You don't really need to.
Because, no, most of my problems are centered on my kingdom over here, and their towers can't really,
Your Highness,
help me too
wish
much.
to join our prosperous kingdom? Your Highness, we've improved the
Yeah, see,
guardhouse.
look at this paladin. She's just soloing 4 of the bloody things. Goblins cannot handle a paladin at any level, really.
Yeah, paladins have all of the speed of a ranger, all of the weapons and armor of a fighter, and with a couple of levels, they also get some defensive magic like that one, which makes them even more resilient.
Marketplace now serves you better.
So you can, if you ever see paladins as a buildable option, you can rest assured that's the linchpin of my strategy. Spare paladins.
The problem is that paladins and the Doros Agrella tree as a whole is super expensive.
And not building lots of inns.
Yeah, they cost a lot more than anything else. But if you manage to pull it off, you're basically unstoppable.
In fact, I don't think I've even built a single tavern yet. I think I got distracted by the fight that was going on before I did build one. Oh well.
It doesn't matter nearly as much in this level, just because the Wizards Guild does a good job of floating you money.
I feel I need to mention that bong sound from when an archer goblin shoots. Sounds really great.
Oh, the sounds in this game are beautiful.
Your Highness, we've improved the guardhouse. Your Highness, we've improved the guardhouse.
Oh, gracious. Oh, right, I didn't mention the third, path that you can take. So the third path is basically only build Chrome. Chrome is the god of barbarians in Ardania, and you only get one spell, but that spell is all you need because it's Rage of Chrome, and it turns all of your heroes on the map into fast-walking, hard-hitting demigods of destruction. But even with that, you've only got basically your first level heroes to handle things with. Warriors mostly, because if you ever build a barbarian, all of your rangers will stop exploring and start just supporting all of the barbarians with arrows, because they're legit, or they're in canon, they're homies.
You do still get racial units if you go Chrome, but that's another whole kettle of fish.
Yeah, demi-humans are completely different. So you have the gnomes, which we already showed you, and then there are also dwarves and elves. And I am going to shock everybody by saying I actually don't hate the elves in Majesty that much.
Gasp.
Gasp, indeed. But the elves are actually, you know, objectively the most powerful demi-humans in there, because their special ability is they make you more money. They double the output of marketplaces just flat, and the elves themselves can go perform as bards at inns, and that gets them experience and money, and it also makes a quick infusion of money for the inn. So, two ways they make you a ton of money just right off the bat. And then the other the cool part, and actually one of the reasons why I don't hate the elves, is that they actually have flaws. You know, they are canon at like the most decadent and debauched sons of bitches in the kingdom. So like the instant you build one, they make an elven lounge, which, you know, it gives off every air of hookers and beer. And you can't tax it, so every time a hero goes there and wastes time and money, that money is gone forever.
Don't really like what they're doing to my healing house.
Yeah, this
here,
healer's in trouble.
Dude, that healer is heal tanking this entire thing.
Yeah, and look, there's more. This is one of the things that makes the healer so hilarious, is that like you'll often get in situations where just by bad luck she gets stuck tanking the entire like enemy force, and she just briefly hops inside of her own. So I'm like using the heal miracle just to try and keep her up before some actual proper heroes could come over. We got a monk punch in there. We got like, yo, healers don't give a fuck. They're right next to their temple. Okay, that one died, but you know, whatever. And they can just like duck inside and then pop back out again. It's just like, why wouldn't you build a billion of them?
Yeah, the funny thing about healers is that if they die, they can respawn at their temple once per level. So like a level 4 healer can do that 4 times. So the one that died there, she hadn't just died once, she had died 5 times. Boom, there you go. Miss Healing Hands just did it.
The paladins have turned up, so the fun ends here. I've also built a second thing just so I can build more paladins, because quite frankly, the meager amount of paladins I have is not enough for my enjoyment. And paladins, like, you don't even really have to tell them, like, with the bribes of money to do anything. They'll just wander off and do it. It's fantastic.
Yeah, they are extremely driven, to say the least.
Did you mention Helios when you were going over all that stuff?
Those are the third level ones. Yeah, there are two third level temples as well, Helios and Lunord, and those are a little bit separate because unless you have Chrome, you can build one or the other. It doesn't really, and nobody really cares. Helia basically gives you these incredibly badass women warriors that will garrison your guardhouses and stick close to home. And they're really good for smaller kingdoms that require, you know, a harder hit. And then Lunord trains a bunch of adepts, which are the fastest sons of bitches in the game. They just blaze around. And so, you know, I mean, they do a great job of handling things like the goblin hordes, where there are a bunch of little guys hanging around.
There's just a Minotaur for no reason.
Just hanging out by the wizards. Oh, believe me, I'm gonna have my fill of Minotaurs by the time this is played through.
Yeah.
Please, Doro!
Your Majesty.
It's funny because I know what's coming and you guys don't.
Paladins are basically cheating.
Yeah, they're... as awesome as paladins are, they are like the reason why multiplayer in this game, like competitive multiplayer, doesn't work. Because if you have two human players and they both have like 4 paladins that are over level 5, they will get into a fight with each other and they will never leave. They can't hurt each other fast enough to outpace their leveling and the health gain they get from leveling.
8 ladies enter, 8 ladies stay there.
I'm really impressed by your Warriors of Discord. Usually they don't do much.
Yeah, I thought those guys died early on. I guess they just killed the half the map for me.
Yeah,
okay.
they cleared out the top right of the map all by themselves.
No, you know, not usually my thing, but we'll let them roll on it.
I like Warriors of Discord just because they're really dumb.
Yeah, and they say silly things.
Yeah, they're also hilarious when they use their berserk ability. Their berserk ability is called Howl of Discord, which is basically a war cry that hurts everybody around them. So when they use it, you hear them scream really loud, and then they charge at their target, yelling, "Come to Papa!"
Well, I'm not gonna sleep tonight. This troll's just walking back and forth in front of a guard tower, dying.
It doesn't even know what it's doing anymore. Yeah, Poe. Yeah, monks are more or less exactly like what you would expect from D&D. They use no weapons, they use no armor, and they kick lots of ass.
Up in the top right of the screen for a second there was the stoic one.
So you ask him what his name is, that's all he answered with.
Canon, they've taken vows of silence, so you're not even supposed to know their names, because you ask them what their name is, and they'll just be like,
One last camp.
okay. So,
And
yeah,
there it is!
This is one of those maps that.
I'm like, what the fuck? I've been looking forward to that moment all,
So, yeah.
all, like when we decided to like do this and I recorded that moment. It's like,
Miss Peacebearer there. Healers can drop down healing herbs that rangers will pick to brew their own healing potions for free. They do this at random intervals, and Miss Peacebearer decided that it would be an awesome idea to place one on the grave of a Minotaur.
Yeah,
Also, I
it's
love the
pretty great.
timing on that message.
The unholy are near.
You must wipe them out now, Your Majesty, before everything is lost. Okay, Nara the Insightful is taking care of that.
yeah, she got this covered.
The day is yours, Majesty. The palace guards report there are no goblin settlements as far as the eye can see. While many lives were lost, our kingdom is safe once again. The Goblin King will think twice before trying another such futile assault.
David Bowie, Scourge of Narnia.
What?
The Goblin King?
It's the Goblin King. Come on, man.
Oh, wow. That one went straight over my head.
Okay, as long as we're on the same page there.
No, yeah, I'm kind of slow apparently. So, fortunately, that is all for the beginning missions and your first taste of what's to come with the advanced missions with Hold Off the Goblin Hordes there. These missions will get a lot harder, and it's all uphill from here as far as the fun goes. So, I'm really looking forward to it. Though, next time we will have another fast forward session with Mr. Orb.
I like taking my time. I value lethargy.
You value sloth is what you value, man.
You bet I do.
Yeah, join us the next time for A Deal with the Demon. This one throws a lot of interesting wrinkles into the deck, and when Orb is being himself, rest assured I will fast forward it. So until next time, I've been Cool Guy.
I've been the Lost Robo Kai.
And I've been Orv.
Take good care of yourselves and all those you love, folks.